It was supposed to be a simple girls' night out, or at least, that's what I told my husband. The truth was far messier. For months, my marriage had felt distant, cold even. We barely talked anymore, and when we did, it always turned into an argument about time, attention, or trust. So when an old friend, Ryan, started messaging me again, it felt refreshing. He listened, made me laugh, reminded me of a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. I knew it was wrong, but loneliness can blur lines faster than you expect. That Friday, I told my husband, I'm meeting the girls for dinner. Don't wait up. He smiled weakly and said, sure. Have fun. I grabbed my purse, my heart pounding not from excitement, but guilt. Ryan had picked the restaurant, a cozy, dimly lit place across town. When I arrived, he was already there, wearing that same charming grin that used to melt me years ago in college. We hugged, maybe a little too long, and ordered wine. As we talked, I felt myself slipping into old comfort zones, flirting, laughing, pretending nothing was wrong. But halfway through the meal, the air shifted. Ryan's eyes suddenly flicked to something, or someone, behind me. I turned around, and the world stopped. Standing at the entrance, holding a takeout bag, was my husband. His expression wasn't angry or loud. It was worse, it was calm. His eyes locked on mine, and in that second, I felt my heart collapse. I froze, every nerve screaming. Ryan muttered, "Oh, **T. But I couldn't move, couldn't even breathe. My husband didn't say a word. He simply walked past us, placed the takeout on the counter, and said quietly to the hostess, "You can give that to table 14, my wife's favorite. She'll need it after her little dinner date." Then he turned around and left. The restaurant went silent. I could feel eyes on me. My hands trembled so badly I nearly dropped my glass. Ryan whispered, "Should I go after him?" But I couldn't even answer. I sat there for what felt like forever, my mind replaying the look on my husband's face. Not fury, not even heartbreak, just disappointment. That night, I drove home terrified, every second rehearsing what I'd say. But when I opened the door, the house was eerily quiet. His shoes were gone. So was his suitcase. On the kitchen counter sat an envelope with my name. Inside was a single note. "You said you were with friends. I guess I finally understand who you really are. Don't worry, I won't make a scene. I'll let the silence do it for me." Beneath the note were photos, screenshots of my messages with Ryan, dates, times, even a few pictures. My stomach turned. He had known. For weeks, maybe months. He hadn't confronted me. He had waited, and tonight he'd caught me in my lie. The next morning, I tried calling, texting, even going to his office, but he'd blocked me everywhere. The realization hit harder than I expected, not because I'd been exposed, but because the person I'd betrayed wasn't shouting or seeking revenge. He was simply done. That quiet kind of heartbreak cuts deeper than anger ever could. Days passed. I stayed alone in our house, surrounded by memories. The photos, the coffee mug he always used, the jacket he left hanging behind the door. Every corner whispered, "You did this." My friends tried to comfort me, saying, "People make mistakes." But this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice, a slow, deliberate erosion of trust one once swore to protect. Weeks later, I got an email from him. It wasn't emotional. Just a simple statement. "The divorce papers will arrive soon. I hope you find what you were looking for." That single line shattered me more than any insult ever could. Because the truth was, I hadn't been looking for anything. I already had it. I just didn't appreciate it until it was gone. Months after everything ended, I saw him again. At a different restaurant this time, sitting across from a woman who made him laugh the way he used to laugh with me. I didn't interrupt. I just watched from afar, realizing that I had become the stranger in his story, the lesson he'd already learned and moved past. That night, I went home and deleted every trace of Ryan. I sat in the dark, staring at the empty side of the bed, and whispered, "I'm sorry. But apologies don't bring back trust." They just echo in the silence you created. So yes, I told my husband I was out with friends. But he was at the same restaurant, watching the truth I tried to hide unfold right before him. That night didn't just expose my lie. It ended the version of myself that thought love could survive without honesty. Because it can't. Not ever.